Vinod sir, I was actually seeing you were an investor. You were an investor in Daily Ninja, which is a grocery space, so you understand the space pretty well. And also, you are an investor in two, three companies which are related to travel or discovery. So I think you have in your portfolio a company which would right now would be, the flavor of the season and something which, everyone is sort of just running away from. So what is your sense about the areas and how are these companies coping up with the, crisis?
I think, fortunately, Daily Ninja just got acquired just before the crisis and got announced during the crisis, right? So, you can say lucky that way. And, Big Basket is obviously having tremendous demand, and I've been watching what Hari of Big Basket has been telling, and they've not been able to fulfill orders. They've been working at like 70% efficiency, even though they're doing like almost close to like, 2.5 to 3 lakh orders a day. Nobody's getting a slot. In the last 1.5 months, I just got managed one slot, right? I mean, you can see it as crisis and opportunity, but it also, right, it's just falling flat, right? But because I'm like, and I'm visiting the Kirana stores, after a long time, right next to my house, which I was not doing in the past, right? Yeah, so I think it's a mixed bag. If you ask me, even in the essential side, all the e-commerce that all of us are so, I'm used to just e-commerce. I don't do any other shopping, for example, right? Having said that, right, yes, the awareness is increased. I think, once we come out of this crisis, right, there's a lot more people who will order online, which is good, and the penetration will be much higher. Yeah, but I think the Kiranas are here to stay. So I think we're looking at a very omni-channel, especially kind of a strategy that will work, for any large thing. Maybe Big Basket should do an offline store, something like that. Actually, I'm seeing that already happening, like Gully Network is an example. Then there is Grofers doing, franchise kind of stores. That's a possibility. And, Jumbo Tail doing just 24. So I think, clearly there's a sense, this will lead into kind of some kind of an omni-channel strategy for most people in the future. That's one on the essential question. On the other portfolio that I have in the, it's closer to, I would say, in the, content, social content space, because they pivoted from being a travel and a lifestyle set up to a social content commerce. The only thing, they're not in the essential space, but they have really good metrics. So I believe, as we go through this crisis, right, people have a lot of time now. They're either playing games, they're watching content, engaging content, and building up for the future in some ways. So I think companies like in that segment, like social content commerce, right, engagement is going to be there. Maybe commerce cannot be executed immediately till, non-essential e-commerce transactions are opened up. I think I'm fairly confident, such companies will survive. So I think, I think fairly like what are the companies that I'm actually looking at? If you ask me right now, I'd like to look at, companies in the content space, multiple forms of content, long form, short form, any form, which is a new form. I'm happy to look at it, that, that's something that I've already looked at in the past. I have a view on that. That's something that I bet, see, you'll have a new Facebook now. There'll be a new way of, engaging, we are doing it to Zoom. Zoom is still like a, 8-year-old system when how it operates, and there is Airmeet and there is a bunch of other tools like Tandem. There is Around, you see all these collaboration tools, remote working, collaboration tool. And that's a space that, I'm actively looking out for. There's a lot of stuff happening in the Valley around there. You've seen Airmeet, I think, Airmeet has been an interesting tool that's come out, recently invested by Axel. So that's an area I'd look at. Remote productivity tools, I would straight away look at, because all of us will have to work either way. So there's some meat in that portion. The other is social networks. I sense, new kinds of consumer products will start appearing because of the behavioral change inherently. I sense, I'm used to, after 20, 25 days now, I'm like very content sitting in this room, talking to everybody. I'm very happy now. I'm doing my daily walks. I've lost weight strangely. My food has been good. So I'm actually happier than was when I was doing the hour-long commute to my office in Whitefield, right? In some strange sense, I'm happier. So if there are a bunch of people like me, with this behavior, then there are obviously going to be people with different kind of behavioral changes, right? Everything adds up, right? Then you'll want new forms of engagement, new forms of content, or new forms of consumption. So I think the consumer story, if the longer this crisis lasts, I will see more innovative new opportunities is my sense, the longer it lasts, because it's going to change behaviors for all of us. Like cult fit is a classic thing. I hardly used to do 2 classes in a week. That was my best effort. I'm telling you, in like years, right? 2 classes a week was my best effort. Today, I am able to do in a single day 2 classes. I'm doing it 3 times a week. On top of it, my daughter is adding up a bunch of classes, and my wife is adding up a bunch of classes. They never went to cult because it's live. They're comfortable doing in their house, and whenever they want. So I think it's completely changed. So that's the change example I'm giving you, right? Companies which have been super nimble-footed and making those pivots and changes, it's working wonders for them. The classic, that is one. And I've also seen teleconsultation, 2 consultation in my family in this lockdown. I mean, online, got medicines ordered through MedPlus, came a little late, but okay, it was not emergency medicine, it's kind of worked. So it's changing, I've not even gone down from my building to just the road also, and so I think, that's like a behavior change. It's unbelievable. Obviously, I want to go, it's because, I've stopped from being going. But I think that changes, people need to rethink, how are they building and for whom are they building, what's the new behavior? If you can build for that, I think, I'd be looking for that, whoever comes with these new insights, that's the game. The next game is there, I'm like keen, that will happen definitely. Those are areas, and gaming obviously is something I'm like already looking at, both casual, mid-core games. I think, there is a lot of opportunity there. India is a very underpenetrated gaming market. I see, that as an opportunity. I mean, today IPL is not happening, live sports is not happening. What do we all of us do, right? What are we engaging, So, I mean, esports, and maybe virtual tournaments on Dream 11, it'll kick off possibly, right? You don't need a real match happening to bet on, maybe all 4 of us form a team and we play a game, people bet on us. And then that's like esports. So all this will happen. And I see that happening, the longer we continue this, all this is going to happen. Yeah.
Vikrant sir, since you do a lot of fintech, and I'm hoping that there will be new models which will be created out of fintech, because last year there were so many new banks coming in, so many year before that it was all about payments, UPI. So are you seeing new models or new areas in the fintech space which have been emerging due to crisis?
Yes, in fact, I would say the overall banking is going through a complete sea change, and a lot of new business models need to evolve, and therefore banks need to look beyond the traditional models that they have, and fintechs definitely have a greater role to play in this particular space. See, what is important is, again, the basic fundamentals don't change out here. The overall customer experience that we are able to build up is going to still going to remain the crux. And as Vinod was saying, there were many things which we found, which we thought about going to be very difficult, but we have adapted ourselves to it. There were many things which we thought were absolutely essential. We are able to let go of it. So the overall customer expectations is something that if you are able to identify those early and if you're able to build solutions, that is going to be the crux. Now, in addition to this, what is going to actually change is the value addition that you are able to do across every step of the way. So, for example, we looked at demonetization, and again, that at that point in time, we thought, oh well, this is it, and now we're going to be a cashless economy. But we have come back to cash, and even in today's time, when we are so susceptible to getting infected, people are still using cash. I mean, you don't see digital adoption happening even during the COVID period at this point in time. So I think the customer preference is going to be the most important aspect out here. Having said that, today what is happening is possibly banks are being skewed more towards established sort of SMEs and things, but I think that's going to change fundamentally. RBI is coming out with a lot of different changes. You are going to have differential banking in this space. You already see we have been in this lockdown period, so we have not really understood the impact of the mergers of the state banks, the government banks out there, nationalized banks that are there. We are yet to see what is going to happen when the new directives have come in for all the cooperative banks, where there has been a cap on their lending. and most of the big banks which have grown in size will actually have to, completely revamp their entire portfolio, which is otherwise skewed to 80% to the to big ticket sizes and 20% to the small ticket. They'll have to reverse it completely, with only 20% being to the large tickets and 80% of being to the small ticket owners. So from that perspective, when it comes to the reach that is there, obviously technology and fintechs are going to have an edge, and I do see a lot of collaboration happening with it. But at the same time, what is going to be very, very crucial is the security aspect of it. Now, I mean, we have been talking about collaborative platforms, we've been talking about Zoom, but when it comes to the financial sector, the security part becomes most important, vulnerable. And therefore, as I mentioned in the beginning, the security component and the governance component, if these are the things which are being identified and you are able to build the overall wrapper around the customer experience, I think that's going to be the key, fundamentally disrupting all the business models. Again, I would like to give you a small example. Look at the types of Ola and Uber. I mean, that was supposed to be, one of the biggest models that has come in. But in days to come, if we don't have, a vaccine for Corona, are we really going to travel in Olas and Ubers of the world? Definitely. So what was thought redundant is possibly going to come back again. So I think it's more of a wait and watch. And if you are able to, time the opportunity and look at the short term and the medium term opportunities, I think that's the key.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think there are a few questions, but out of those, one which I feel very prominent and very, useful for all the startups participating out there is, so like, do you people think that there's going to be paradigm shift in terms of funding or early stage ideation startups? And like, is this the right time for the startups to pitch in for investments, or they should wait for this basically crisis to get over and then they should start pitching? So, your thoughts over it. I would request, like Vivek sir to start on for this particular thing.
I don't know if it's the right time or the wrong time, and I don't think anyone can say that. But I still believe if you have an idea, and at this time, if you really have an idea, it has to be something really substantial. It cannot be a normal, simple, plain vanilla idea and you come out and pitch it to an investors and they would not be interested. Right. At the same time, what I openly say is what demonetization did to fintech like Paytm, this is exact same Corona will do to edtechs and health techs. All the edtechs and health techs will be at their highest due to this Corona and will keep on growing because people have realized that sitting at home in the comfort of your small office space or your room space, you can still learn, I'm not talking about primary education, but about any other vocational courses that you want to do, or any basic communication course you want to do. So I believe it's the time, same for health, like Vinodji was mentioning that, he's been working out and his family has been working out, which he never used to do. So people have realized these two big things. And we all know Cult got such a big funding. We also funded Shilpa Shetty app and they're also doing phenomenally well. So I believe, coming back to the original question, this is the time. And if you really have an idea, I think this is the time to pitch in, because if you can go through this or if you can sustain this, then I don't think there'll be, you've probably taken care of the biggest force majeure, and I don't think there'll be anything that is going to stop you, provided that you're able to impress the investors that, I am definitely going to add value, or there is enough that I am going to provide despite of all these problems that we currently have.
I mean, just to add to that, Nimish, right, I think, if you are starting, right, I think it's perfectly fine to start now. That's one. If it's perfectly fine to start, I mean, make sure that you're not dependent on money coming first and then starting up, right? I mean, that doesn't make sense anytime, now or future or in the past, right? Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. So if you have decided to start, I think, this is probably the best time to start. And you can continue to pitch, right? People give you money or not, doesn't matter. If you get an opportunity to pitch, go and pitch to the investors. If they like you, they fund you now, then if they don't like you, they give you feedback, take the feedback, come back, when the environment improves again, go back and do it. I think that way, right, this is probably one time, where you can just focus on your product. And especially, if you're a product focused, tech focused and not a very ops heavy businesses, right? I think there's nothing like this time now. You can be super focused on what you really want to do and execute on that because that's the only thing you can do, right? You can't do any ops, like a Daily Ninja or Big Basket. You can't start something new like that, like Vivek was telling. But you can do a tech and a product business like there has been no other best time, if you ask me. So you should talk to investors and people like, who want to do angel like myself or Vivek or, Sandro. I think they're still interested to take a look at these businesses because, supporting them for the next, let's say 12 months to 18 months with small amounts through angel checks, I think it'll make a lot of sense for us. Then we all know that, this is not also like forever kind of a winter, right? We will come out of it. Maybe 15 could be 12, 12 could be 18. Yeah.
So basically all angels sitting right now at home, we got a better chance to, take out some time of angels. Anyways. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Just adding to what Vinod just mentioned, I would say the existing companies should just get back to the drawing board and look at a new opportunity to kind of see how they can scale this up further with the current situation that is in hand. And rightly said by Vinod, fresh companies, right time to start. Why? Because you're on ground zero. Almost everyone is on ground zero. So everyone is going to take off together. So it's not going to be a big problem. But what you actually need to do right now is instead of, scouting for investors, what you should do is look for right mentors, relevant people to kind of actually get you the right connect to scale faster, whether it's a B2B connect or whosoever it is, right? If that industry expert comes in, which I continuously keep telling everyone around, because 90% of the entrepreneurs don't do this. I mean, they need mentors, and believe me, they can actually add value if you find the right set of people to support you and not eat you up till the time everything is good, I guess.
And in fact, I would add to what all members are saying, that if you have an idea which is going to save cost or be relevant in these times like sanitization, healthcare and things, they should go all out and, channelize all their energies towards it.
Perfect.
Also adding to all of their points. So I've been a pre-seed investor. So we usually invest at the idea stage. So I think this is one of the best times because you're actually pitching to a lot of people, which does not require you traveling to different cities or different part of the city. And also, when you start up, it's just the founders. So there's no salaries, there's no rents, there's no overhead. So I think this 3-4 months where you can just sit down, work on your idea, get feedback, keep on improving, so that whenever this thing ends or there's, a light at the end of the tunnel, you can just, you're hitting the ground running.
So basically, we can conclude that there's no stopping, and for people who want to start from zero, it's the best time. In fact, they get more attention towards angels. They get more time to think over. They get more, MVP collections and, proof of concept time. So I think this is the best time for the early stage people to start with. Thanks. Over to the Divyansh if he has a few more questions, and then we can conclude.
We would just like to have a closing note from everyone, because I think we've concluded most of the things. But just a last thing you want to advise anyone in the ecosystem, maybe it's investors, maybe it's the startups, anyone in the ecosystem. We'll start with Vinod, sir. Just an ending note from you.
I think I would address the founders, right? I think there's no better time to start. Do that, and you have the next 12 months to focus and build your product. And I think, most of them will come out, better. And there's a reset in the ecosystem, absolutely reset from both businesses, startups, investors, everybody. There's a reset. People will have to reevaluate. But it also means, anybody who's starting fresh is on the same footing like what Sandro was telling. I think there's no better time. I am starting myself at this time because I find it, it's very opportunistic to do it right away. So I'm already prepped up and, excited to do that. So I would, say, get out, and do this, right now. It's going to work in the long run for sure.
Sandro's over to you. Any closing remarks? Any thoughts?
Well, I would just say that I think we've talked a lot about a lot of things, but I think just to sum it up, I would say that stay focused and understand that a Me Too will not work. So you really have to think deep, think wise, and think about something really valuable. Otherwise, it's going to be it's not going to scale. And trust me, investors will not cut check for not for at least 6-8 months for sure. In that case, I mean, if you have something really good to offer, something really valuable, has his own value, I think then you can kind of shave.
Vikrant sir, over to you. Any closing thoughts, any suggestions for anyone?
Yeah, in addition to what Vinod and Stephen have said, I would just say continue to believe in yourself and dare to move ahead.
Vivek sir, over to you.
Yeah, so for me, my advice to all these startups and young budding entrepreneurs would be ready. Suppose tomorrow on television, 9 p.m. Modi ji says, "Mitro, kal se Bharat open hai." Do you have a plan for day after tomorrow? Are you ready for it? A lot of people, are thinking कि अभी खुलेगी तब सोचेंगे ऐसा होगा ऐसा होगा. Be ready with your plan from the scratch, as small as सुबह ऑफिस जाकर के पहला काम exactly मेरे को ये करना है, दूसरा ये, तीसरा ये, पांचवा ये, सातवां है. Till evening I have to do all these things. So people, this is one advice that I would give them: be ready. This is the time. This is the time that you have always wanted in terms of thinking. Make sure that your whole plan is set right. Secondly, if you're able to raise funds, if you're not able to conserve funds, and if you're able to raise funds even at a cheaper valuation, don't think about valuation. It is very important for you to right now survive. And for surviving, if you have to offer something cheap, it does not matter. Bahut baar when we are not well, we are willing to pay heavy amounts to the hospital, even when we know it's nothing special. For a same injection, I could get it for 5,000 rupees. In a big hospital, I get it for 25,000 rupees. I am willing to shell that out only because I know I'll be saved and I'm in safe hands. So similarly for these startups, ensure that even if selling cheap and you're able to raise some money, please do it, and please be ready with your plan on the day everything opens. So these are two pieces of advice that I would strongly recommend these people to, take it by heart. ये दोनों काम करना ही करना. If you're not able to do it right now और अभी तक नहीं कर पाए तो kindly start doing it.
So I think we've summed up the entire conversation. Just like to add, this is, I think a lot of master chefs, a lot of people will, have been cooking, will come out in the open. So I think a lot of people will actually be pivoting, their interest after the period.